In this video, we will take a look at what are servlet attributes and we'll go through a small demonstration of servlet attributes. So attributes are objects which are attached to the different scopes of the servlet and they can be modified, retrieved and also removed. So the attributes can be read, created, updated and deleted by the web container as well as the programmer can do it from the application code. So when we create an object and we add that object to some scope, it is called binding. So what is a scope? There are three scopes that our servlet can have, which is the request, session, and the context. Context is also known as application scope. So request is the smallest scope which is available for a given request. Session is a wider scope and context or application scope is the widest of all. To access the attributes, we will be using these three methods. So the set attribute method will be used to set some given object as an attribute in some scope. So we'll have to pass the name of that object so that we can use this name to get the attribute or to remove the attribute later. And we will be passing the value which is going to be an object. So it can be any object, it can be a Java predefined type or it can be a user defined type. So we will use this method to set the object in our scope. Then to get the object, we will be using the get attribute method and we'll pass the unique identifier, the name that we have given to that object. Using that, we will get the object in return. So the return type here is object. And the third method that we will be using is remove attribute. So we can use this attribute to remove that object from the given scope. So whatever scope we are using to invoke this method, from that scope this attribute will be removed. Now what is the basic difference between parameters and attributes? So parameters are read only. So as we have seen that we cannot modify the value of those parameters programmatically, we will have to program it in the web.xml. So, and we cannot modify the request parameters as well because they are wrapped in the request and they reach the servlet from the client. So these parameters are read only, and also that parameters are always string objects, whereas in case of attributes we can read the objects, we can write the objects, we can also remove them, so we can bind them and we can unbind them from a given scope. And objects can be of any type. So as we said, it can be a student, it can be a chair, it can be an employee, it can be any Java predefined type. There are three scopes of a servlet. So the objects that we create in our web application, they can belong to any one of the given scope. So it can either be request, session or context, which is also known as application. So the scope of a request will start right from the moment that the HTTP request was received by our servlet. So as soon as the servlet receives the request scope will start. And when the servlet has responded to the HTTP request with some response, so after we have written our response and sent back the response to the client, the request scope will end. So basically, the request scope will start as soon as the do get or do post method has started, and it will end only when that request has been served. So it may also happen that more than one servlet is serving a request, like we had seen in case of a request dispatcher, we are forwarding the request to another servlet. So in that case, the request scope will be continued till the other servlet. But if we are not using a request dispatcher and we are not forwarding the request to any other web page, then the request scope will end as soon as the do get or the do post method is done executing. And as soon as it is done executing, the response will be sent back to the client. So this is the request scope and it is the narrowest of all three scopes. And the request scope is denoted by an object of type HTTP servlet request. So we have already used this as an argument to the do get and do post method. Next is the session scope. So a session scope will start when a client will establish a connection with the web application, and until the browser window is closed this session will be the same. So in a given session there can be multiple requests, so the same client is sending a request then receiving a response, again sending a new request and then receiving a response. So the session will remain the same but the requests will be different. Now, the session can also be shared between tabs. So, like we see when we access our Gmail account. So, if we open the Gmail account, we log into the Gmail account and then we open, let's say, Google Docs in another tab. So, we do not have to log in again and again. The session and this session is denoted by the HTTP session interface, which belongs to javax.servlet.http package. So the session will end when we close the browser window, or it may also end if we programmatically invalidate the session, or it may also end if the session is inactive for a long duration of time, like we see in any banking application. When we log into a banking website and we remain inactive for a given period of time, the session will automatically end and then we have to log in again. So that can be done from the web.xml. So if you remember, in the web.xml we had a field which says session timeout, which was set to 30 minutes by default. So this is the broadest scope of the application, and it will start from the point where the web application is started. So when we load our web application, it will start the context scope, and this scope will end when we shut down the web application or if we are reloading the web application after making some changes to it. So in that case, the web application will end, the context scope will end, and a new context scope will start when the application is reloaded. The parameters or attributes within the scope of this context scope will be available for all requests and all sessions which are in that application. So to get the context, we will be using the get servlet context method. So this will give us the context, or we can also explicitly call the get servlet config dot get servlet context method, and it is denoted by an object of the javax.servlet.servlet context interface. So we have already seen the context interface in the previous video wherein we were taking the context init parameters from the context object. So this is the same context. Now, as we saw that an attribute can belong to either of these scopes, so we can bind the attribute to any one of this scope. All those attributes which are bound to the HTTP servlet request, they are called the request attributes. Those attributes which are bound to the HTTP session are called session attributes, and the attributes which are bound to the context object is called the context attribute. So here we have created a servlet named scopes demo, and in this scopes demo servlet we will be setting a request attribute, a session attribute, and a context attribute. So the value that we want to set, what we will be doing is we will get a value which is present in the request. So using the request.getParameter method, so let's call this param. Using the request.getParameter method, we will, let's say we have a parameter named username un. So once now we have this value of param, we need to set it in the request session and context. For that, we already have the request object with us, which is being passed as an argument in the process request method. Then in addition to that, we will require a session object. So the session object can be obtained using the request object and the get session method. So the return type of this method will be an HTTP session. In the same way, we will get the servlet context. So to get the servlet context, we can either write this dot get servlet context, or we can write get servlet config dot get servlet context. Next, we will check if the parameter that we have read from the request, that is the UN parameter, if this parameter is equal to null, that is if the parameter does not exist, or if the parameter is equal to blank. So we'll check that using the equals method. Then we'll not do anything else. We will use the request object to set an attribute, and in the attribute name we will be passing, so for the request attribute we will create an attribute named r attribute. Similarly, we will create an attribute in session, and we will create an attribute in the context, and we'll call this attribute S attribute and C attribute respectively. We are setting the same value, the value of param. Now, to view the values that we have set in the output, we will use the get attribute method. So in the body, here we will use the out.print method. We'll use the get attribute method, and we will pass the name of that attribute. So for the request, the attribute name was r attribute. So here we'll pass the name to get this attribute. Similarly, we will do the same for the context attribute and the session attribute, which is S attribute and C attribute. We will also add the BR tag so that the output will appear on a new line. So here when we run the scopes demo servlet with the UN is equal to ABCD, so here as we can see in the address bar, the query string contains a parameter UN with the value ABCD, and we have taken that value from the request and we have set it in these three attributes, the request, session and context attribute. Now if we copy the same URL and send a new request to the scopes demo servlet, but this time without any request parameters. So we are simply sending a request, a new request from our browser window without the parameter UN. And if we run this code, then in the output we will see that the value of our attribute, the request attribute, has become null. So this is because the R attribute was set here, it was set to ABCD when this first request was received by the scopes demo servlet. But after the response for this request was sent back to the client, the request scope has ended and now the request has been invalidated. So when we are sending a new request, which is scopes demo, in this new request for scopes demo, the request attribute R attribute could not fetch the value of the R attribute, because that attribute has already lost its value, because that attribute was only for the previous request which was sent, and now it is no longer valid. So that is why it is printing null, because it does not find the attribute. But in the session attribute and the context attribute, we can see that the value is still being retained, even though the request attribute does not exist, but the session attribute and the context attribute, which is S attribute and C attribute, they still exist in our application, and they are also holding the value that we had set in the previous request. So, like we had seen that a session exists between the different tabs of a browser as well. So, even if we open multiple tabs and send a request to the same scopes demo, the session attribute and the context attribute will hold valid values until the session is invalidated, and the context attribute will hold the value until the web application is unloaded from the server. Now, to see whether when does the context attribute uh, or when does the session attribute end. So to see that, we can open or we can send a request to the scopes demo. So we'll just copy this URL and we can send a request from a new browser. So right now I am using Firefox, and I will be sending a request now using Google Chrome to the same servlet, and we'll see if it is able to retain the value of the context attribute. So now this is Google Chrome, and I will be pasting the same URL. So we are sending a request to Scopes demo from Google Chrome, and now we can see that the session attribute value is also null. This is because the session that was existing and the session which had the S attribute is set into it to ABCD, that is the session which we were running on the Firefox. But currently we are running our code on Google Chrome. So this is a separate browser, and this is a new session, you can say. So that is why this session does not contain the session attribute that was set in the Firefox. That is why we can see that the session attribute has also become null, and the request attribute will obviously be null because it is a new request. But we can see that the context attribute has not been invalidated, so we can still see that the context attribute is holding the value ABCD. This is because the context attribute will exist for the complete web application. So until the web application is unloaded from the server, it is going to hold this value till that time. Now, if we clean and build the application, or if we redeploy our application, then in that case, the application will be undeployed from the server and then it will be deployed again. So in this case, the context will be reset. And now we should see that the context variable or the context attribute has also lost its value. Now, if we send a request to the Scopes demo servlet from the browser, so now here we can see that the context attribute is also set to null, and that is because we have redeployed our application. So the web application was unloaded and then reloaded again. That is why the context has also been invalidated, and this is a new context. So that is why it shows that the context attribute has not been found and it is returning null.